Well, good morning, folks, and welcome back to the farm. It's just 7 o'clock in the morning on Sunday morning, and it's tough to see right now because it's just kind of first light. But it's blizzarding right now, and the wind is. I'm behind the greenhouse here, so I'm out of the wind. The wind is whipping out of the east. We had a whole pile of lambs yesterday. I'm going to run over there to the barn, check, see if we had any more overnight here. I didn't do a midnight check, just because the ones we had yesterday were a surprise. They were way off schedule by a few weeks. But nevertheless, I see I got another piece of work I got to do there. The bulls look like they knocked down the rail fence over on the other side of the garden. Dirty buggers. Never ends, this farming lark. There's always something to do. But anyways, we'll go check and see if we got any more lambs. If we don't, I'll wait till after breakfast and the sun is fully up before I let everybody else out. And the reason for that is I find that ewes have this nasty habit. They like to lamb twice during the day. One is just before or just after first light. And the second time is usually about 2:30 in the afternoon. Good morning, kitty cat. 2:30 in the afternoon before you even get home from work. And so they make it difficult for you. So we'll check them. We'll leave them in for now. And then today we're going to sort off. We're going to split the rams out. We'll take any of the ewe lambs that weren't of breeding age this year. They'll get kicked off to the east. They can be out by themselves. And then everybody that's going to lamb is going to move into the lambing pen, because we're going to get 6 inches of snow. I don't want them out on the pasture, because that's a lamb killer right there. And can't have that. Well, there's no new lambs, but there are a few that would be on my watch list. Irene here for sure. There's Annabelle, Harriet. Queen's looking pretty low in the belly over here. It's tough for you guys to see. I know it's not very bright in here. But the girls definitely shit all over the floor. That's lovely. Let's just check in on the lammy lambs here and see how everybody's doing. That one's doing good, up and running about. Selma's got her twins back, or her triplets. So yesterday afternoon, after we got home from the birthday party, I did try to split one of these triplets off and give it to Duchess, because Duchess had triplets, lost two, because again she lambed at 5 o'clock in the morning in a snowbank, like unexpectedly. But yeah, despite her best efforts, she wasn't having anything to do with it. So this mama's got 3 for now, and we'll consider splitting that one off and just having a bottle baby. I'm not a big fan of bottle babies, especially not at this time of the game. It's too early in the year to start having bottle babies. But you can sell them, right? You can sell them for damn near $100, and I can honestly say, if you got a bottle baby that you can sell for $100, sell it. Just get it going. Scratching an itch over there. What that noise is. Because you will never, like, at this point in time, it really owes you about $50, right? That's how much really it costs to feed the ram and feed its mom over the winter. Other than that, it doesn't really owe you much. So after that, anything else is kind of profit. But the more days you keep it, the more grain you feed it, the more money you need out of it. And I did some math at one time, and I figured it was about, so day one, it owes you $50. And then after that, you got to make another 70 cents every day on top of the price, until it, you kind of got to make market price, right? So I could be off on my math there a little bit, but that's generally what we've done, is about 50 to 70 cents, depending on the price of grain. And that really is the key indicator there. The metric is the price of grain. Yeah, I just did some quick math there on my phone. So 6 months on pasture at 70 cents a day, that works out to about $130 plus the $50 that it owes you today. So by the time you come off pasture, that thing, you need to get $180 for it, essentially, to break even. So, and then that's if you've just finished it on grass. There's all your, if you're going to finish with grain in the feedlot or up in the yard, well, then that number kind of goes up a little bit more as well, right? And so in the case of the triplet, they're going to make probably 80% of the weight that a twin would and a single will maybe have about a 10% increase in its weight over what a twin would. So if you got to split one off, do it, because you're going to put $180 into something that's going to have a 75-pound finish weight versus putting $180 into something that's going to have 110-pound finish weight. Which one are you going to pick? Had a bit of breakfast. Hasn't let up snowing at all. Maybe the weatherman's going to be right. I thought maybe he was going to be like me, promise 6 inches and only deliver 3, but I guess we're we're probably in for it. But anyways, nevertheless, I'm going to hook onto the flat deck trailer and rip down to the brother-in-law's and see if I can get a couple of silage bales off of him. And then I can put one in the lambing pen and then keep the silage bale that's half eaten out in the field for the ones that we're not going to lamb this year. And yeah, and then get on to sorting sheep on a snowy day. Well, I'm back from getting bales, and it's definitely not letting up, the snow here. It's picking up quite bad. My brother-in-law joked, he said, I noticed you didn't go to church this morning. I said, no, I got to sort animals this morning and take care of the lambs. I'm pretty sure the good Lord will understand if I save a lamb instead of being saved by the lamb on a day like today. Anyways, no new lambs while I was gone, but I think old Harriet here is, yeah, she's acting a little bit off. I think she's up. I think she's next up to bat here, and then maybe Queen. We'll see. But yeah, I'm gonna build up some pens here so I can catch everybody. Sort off the lambing ewes from the last year's ewes, and then last year's ewes that are going to be bred this fall. They can go out to the east, and then the lambing ewes can go down here into the lambing pen to the south. And I think I'm gonna keep her in because, yeah, I think something's gonna happen here. All right, well, I was able to do a quick reconfiguration here, and got a little pen set up here. Harriet was hanging out in that corner there, so I was hoping to just get her into a pen in the corner over here closer to the bales, and it's easy. I can just throw some straw and throw some hay over. But anyway, she was having none of coming out of that corner, so I just set up this pen and then swung that around and basically got her into here, and she got a bit of straw in for her. And you can see her water's broke already, so it's just a matter of time. And so I'm gonna go make a cup of tea right now and then come back out and just keep an eye on her, see if she needs a hand at all. Of course, the wind has to be just howling out of the east right now. We're just getting pelted with snow. It's not a good time to kick off lambing, but you know, honestly, I'm not even really that perturbed about it. If we get a couple of days of bad weather and then everybody else kind of lambs during mild weather, it's probably not going to be a big issue. Yes, for 3 weeks early, but 3 weeks early is 3 more weeks that I get to put weight on the lambs before they go to market, or maybe I can get them to market a bit earlier. And because I mean, we've seen some years where I couldn't really get them to a good weight before I got them to auction, unless it was buying every pound with barley, right? And I mean, I don't mind buying some weight with barley, but if I can get that weight out of the, you know, some good rich grass in the spring, I'd love to do that too. So getting them born a little bit earlier in the beautiful barn here, which we certainly didn't have for a number of years. We were just out in the shelter. So you know what, I think we're all right. For as scary as it probably seems, you know, because it's going to be 20 below tonight. I keep everybody in, lots of straw, you know, bedding. Everybody's kind of here and can kind of keep each other warm by snuggling up. I think we'll do all right. I just got all done feeding, and so straw and hay and out to everybody in the fields, in the barn, where everything needs to be. And Harriet just had her twin lambs. One seems like it's, you know, going to be okay. The other one's a little bit lackluster, and so this is my remedy. Aunt Jemima, old school Aunt Jemima, none of this Pearl Milling Company nonsense. This is my go-to. Is you get about 5 mils of pancake syrup in a big syringe, and if you got a lackluster lamb that, you know, maybe the ewes not paying a lot of attention to it, she's not licking it dry, it's cold, I put a heat lamp on it. I'm going to give it a tablespoon of pancake syrup just to get it some rapid energy, get it what it needs to go to get perked up and get it up and on its feet, and then get it to suck. So I'm back in the barn with Harriet's twin lambs. So the one's dry and up and about, and it's having this little lay down right now. This other one right here was not doing well. It was just kind of laying flat, shivering. And I mean, that's the biggest killer of lambs, is just dying of exposure, hypothermia, right? And she wasn't really keen on licking it off for whatever reason, so I give it that teaspoon of pancake syrup, and then I mix up some colostrum and just got a little bit of warm stuff in its belly. It's shivering less, it's bellowing more, and Mama's paying a lot more attention to it. And it is actually trying to get up now, so keep an eye on it here over the next hour or so. If I can get it standing up and walking around, then the game's 90% won. After fighting all morning against the elements, yeah, that's what it looks like outside. Gross. After all morning fighting against the elements to put sheep where they're supposed to be, kick lambs out to the north, keep the ewes in the barn, get hay and straw where it needs to be, I decided I was going to keep the ewes in the barn, the lambing ewes in the barn overnight, because I mean, well, you can see what it looks like outside, right? That's lamb killing weather right there. So if somebody else lambs outside, the duration of which survivability is probable is really, really low. So I come in here to make a hot chocolate, and I look over there to where the round bale is. Can you see it over there? See if we can do this. Can we do this on the fly? No, we can't zoom in on the fly. Anyways, there's 16 ewes out there hanging out around a round bale that are supposed to be in the barn. And I don't know if they've developed opposing thumbs or just how exactly they found their way out of the barn, but they are out of the barn. So I'm going to finish my hot chocolate and trudge back over there and go try and pen them back up. All right, so I'm back out. I had to switch to the big hat. It was just getting too much. It is incredible. It's just getting colder and colder and colder, and the wind is picking up more and more and more. And there's so much snow coming down. I think we've had 6 inches already, and it's still continuing to come down. So here's one time where the weatherman's going to over-deliver. But anyways, as you can see, I got the ewes back in. I went to open up the door. They saw me with the water bucket, and that was enough incentive for them to come inside. So I slammed the door shut again. I made sure it was closed. So if they pop their way out there again, I'll be confused as to how they're doing it. But anyways, I got feed and water topped up for the ewes that are in the lambing jugs, and that's super important, right? Definitely, it's not only traumatic for the lamb being born, but it's also traumatic for the ewe giving birth. And so I have seen it in past years where maybe a ewe just goes off her feed instantly, right? And so you really want to keep an eye on, make sure they're drinking, make sure they're eating, because if the stress of that causes them to go off their feed, that can very, very quickly cause that ewe to go downhill and die within, 24 to 48 hours. Not cool, especially when you've got, 2 or maybe even 3 hungry mouths to feed. But everybody's drinking, everybody's eating. And you can see down here, we've got our square hay bales packed up. And because I got the sheep in here, I had to tie pallets with the slats going down on the outside of the panels, because the sheep are pushing on the panels to try and nibble away at that hay. At least the slats kind of keep them, and they can't climb on it because their feet just slide down. But that's my trick to save our hay storage. But they do have access to a full square bale and a half here, and they got molasses and grain in their little tubs, so they're all set. But you can hear a little bellowing still coming out of this pen here. And so I'm going to keep that heat lamp on. They're licked, they're dry, they've eaten. But that one's still got a little bit of an arch to its back, so you can tell it's still a little bit cold. So I'll leave that heat lamp on, but before bedtime tonight, I'm going to come out and unplug that, because we keep that set up actually for the chickens, not for the sheep. And that mama's big enough that she could jostle that light, and I don't want that to land in the straw and end up having the barn catch on fire, because they're too little to have roast lamb. But So I'll get that unplugged before we go to bed tonight. But I think I'm going to go in right now and get a cup of tea because I am froze right to the core. I'm going to need a heat lamp, maybe a hot shower of my own. So I'll let you go for now. I hope you're having a fantastic Sunday. We'll see you tomorrow.